In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Luba 5000 all-wheel drive robotic lawnmower and just see if it's any good for an Aussie lawn. Back in July, Momotion reached out to me and offered me the opportunity to review this mower. I had a look at what they had to offer and straight away I really liked the look of it. It does remind me of a radio controlled car from the late 80s. For those you can remember back to the Frog and the Hornet and all those really cool things that I remember growing up with. This is, to me, a radio controlled car that mows lawn and it looks great. Now, there's 3 models in this range. It kicks off with a Luba 1000 for smaller blocks of land, moves up to a 3000, and this one that we're looking at today is the 5000 all-wheel drive. So this one here will cover over an acre, so it's about 5,000 square meters this mower can handle. What sets this mower apart from other robotic mowers is the fact that it doesn't require an in-ground cable. So this is a perimeter-free machine that has a RTK satellite system. So in other words, instead of having a cable in the ground, this relies on satellites and a base station here, and that gives you centimeter accuracy every single time. Another great thing having that system is this mower will do straight up and down cuts. It doesn't just randomly bounce around the yard. It mows straight lines, straight up, straight back, and you can program this to do cross mow, so you can mow one direction, then straight over the other direction. So it gives you really good control and really good flexibility. Being perimeter free, in other words, not having the wire on the ground, it gives you the option to create different mowing zones. So we can have, for example, a backyard area, a back lawn as zone 1. We might have a side lawn as zone 2, and perhaps a front lawn of zone 3. Each of those zones are totally customizable, including individual heights for individual areas. So zone 1 can be a different height, zone 2 can be a different height, and zone 3 can be its own separate height again. Adding to that, you've got the ability to create no-go zones. So if you've got a garden or a tree that you don't want it to go right up to, you can actually run this mower around the edge of that obstacle. It'll create itself a no-go zone and it just simply won't go there. All this stuff here is drivable by the app, which is very easy to navigate. I had no prior experience with this machine. I pretty much grabbed it out of the box, downloaded the app, and within probably 10 minutes, I had this thing driving off the actual phone. Another thing that sets this mower apart from other robot mowers on the market is the fact that this thing is all-wheel drive. So a lot of them are just 2-wheel drive. This one is all-wheel drive, and that means it can handle some very serious slope. So 75% slope, which I think equates off the top of my head to 37 degrees. So that's quite a steep slope. We'll see that in action in a moment. And that's one of the reasons why I'm actually filming here today at Shane's, a mate's place, is because he's got some nice thick buffalo here that we're gonna put it through. We've got some nice steep sloping lawns that I don't have. So I really wanted to put this thing through its paces. I didn't just want to drive it around my relatively flat backyard. I wanted to actually push this thing to the extreme and see if I could get it to fault. So we'll have a look at that. Let's have a look underneath him now. So another thing that sets this apart is we've got 2 discs or 2 cutting discs. And like most robot mowers, we're running the little razor style blades. And let me tell you, they are boom, boom, razor sharp and do a really good job. And as you can see here, it's a bit dirty. I have actually put this through some paces before I did the review. As I said, I came into this keen to try the mower, but I also wanted to see how far I could push it because that's what I'm all about. All we're doing now is just taking the mower around the perimeter of the area we want to mow. I'm using my phone here. We'll get as close as we can to these corners, which will be as close as it goes to the edges. Oh, I'm not a good driver. So you use your phone screen like a bit of a joystick, and you can follow the curves of the garden. The other really good thing it does is it gives you a square meterage of the area too, so you know exactly how big the area is. Righto, so we've done our perimeter lap here. This area worked out to be just shy of 120 square meters. Next thing we need to do, just behind us here, is a tree, and a little garden around the tree. So what we'll do now is we'll enter an exclusion zone, which will mean the robot will avoid that area, and we can have quite a number of those per zone. So you're not limited there. Okay, so we've basically created our area now, and that's as complicated as it gets when it comes to mapping out an area for this thing to mow. We've got an exclusion zone in, we've done our perimeter. Next thing we can do with this mower is set the height of cut. The Luba has a height range of 30 millimeters, so 3 centimeters, right up to 70 mils or 7 centimeters. Righto, so we've started him going now, dropped him down to the lowest possible height, which is the 3 centimeters. This is Sapphire Buffalo, so he's going to go to his starting point here now, and he's going to work himself across. But as you can see already, cuts really, really nicely. Quite a reasonably wide pass. So we'll let him get himself set up there, and we'll cut across the time lapse. Luba is meant to be really safe around pets and kids, and if a kid happens to grab it, we can see the opposite. Before you can lift it up, they're stopped. We'll also get a notification on the phone that something's going on. But if we want to start it again, we can start it and off it goes. Something I didn't mention earlier in the video, you probably noticed them though, the front tyres on these are unidirectional. So they're really funny looking tyre. So basically they'll turn forward like a normal tyre, but they have these little mini rollers. And what they do is when this thing is turning around, and this will turn basically zero turn, these will actually turn sideways to assist in the turn. So we're just going to send it back to its base station now, so it'll automatically find its way there. So while it's doing that, this is the basic setup for a base station. You can mount it more permanently than this, but for the purpose of this demonstration or review video, this is the setup that I've gone with. So we've got it backing up here now. We've got our RTK sensor here, which is what communicates with the satellites and the mower, etc. And as you can see there now, it's charging away. Now, this mower will run for about 3 hours between charge. And if it just so happens that you're midway through mowing, it'll come back, it'll recharge, and it'll resume exactly where it left off. Okay, we'll head this thing out the front now, and we'll have a little play on the slope, because this thing is actually ridiculously good on hills. I was really skeptical, but let me tell you, this thing climbed it like a champ, and that was thick buffalo lawn. Often on camera, it's hard to get a real understanding of what a slope is like in real life, be it four-wheel drive videos, or in this case, how good Luba is on the front lawn. But what we've done is, we've got the iPhone here, which has the inclinometer built in. And as you can see here, we're sitting on 23-degree slope. So the maximum for Luba is actually 37. But in this case, this is as steep as I can get. But we've also got some pretty thick buffalo, which potentially could have been a problem for it. But we'll send it up and down this hill a few times now, and you'll see that this is not a trouble. This is not a trouble for this mower at all. I've got to be honest, the cut quality of this mower really did exceed my expectations. Obviously, having the little tiny razor blades as blades, I was a little bit dubious, especially on a thick buffalo lawn as this. Now, I've set the mower here at 30 mil, which is the lowest it'll go. It'll go between 30 mils and 70 mils. Shane never normally cuts the lawn here at this height. The reason I did that today was just to load up this mower and see if it could handle thick buffalo cut short, and I really do believe it's done that, and I really do believe that it's done it well. Now, this model here, as I think I mentioned earlier, will cover will cover over 1 acre of land. And you really got to ask yourself, if you're a little bit time poor, would you buy one of these over a ride-on lawnmower for, you know, more money? I really think this frees up a lot of time. So, you know, if you've got a nice section of lawn that you cylinder mow, for example, and a larger section of lawn that you rotary mow, someone like myself, to be fair, rotary mowing, you know, comes second to everything else I do. I can set this up in my backyard and let it take care of the mundane mowing, and I can focus on nicer bits. This has really been a pleasant surprise for me. I know Shane's enjoyed having it here for a few days, and I'll leave it here for a few more days for him to have a bit more of a play with it. But all in all, I really do feel that this has a place in everyone's yard. Anyway guys, look, we'll wrap the video up here. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll catch you next time on the Aussie Lawn.